Hi, we're Team 5235.
The Ziggy Stardust Disaster Busters.
I'm Evelyn.
I'm Cole.
I'm Chloe.
And I'm Locke.
For our Into Orbit project, we focused on one important thing it would take to get a team of 4 astronauts to Mars.
And back.
We specifically focused on a very important thing for any trip to Mars. That's why we decided to talk about growing food in space.
Wait a second. Food isn't the only important thing, Cole. Isn't it clear a real issue is...
Of course, Chloe. Clearly, the real issue is having enough fuel to get to Mars.
No, you're kind of way off there. We need to focus on hygiene needs in space.
Excuse me? What do people think you're saying? One word, people. Radiation.
No. My solution is so simple. The solution is...
Well, my easy solution
The answer to my problem is...
We can do it with...
water! Basically, our solution is to use the moon as a pit stop on a long trip. We'll get the water we need and then be on our way to Mars.
And back.
We got information and help from 3 experts.
Mr. Gene Perry is an expert at Jet Propulsion Labs in California. JPL does much of the design work for NASA.
Dr. Clive Neal is a planetary geologist at the University of Notre Dame. He talked with us about good resources that might be available in space and specifically on the moon.
Last, we communicated with Dr. George Sowers. He is a rocket expert and is faculty in the first space resources program in the world at the Colorado School of Mines.
This water we get from the moon will have 4 specific uses.
1. In space, astronauts need water for hygiene, such as sponge baths and teeth brushing.
2. We need to protect our astronauts from radiation. We learned that water can be a great radiation shield. A meter-thick wall of water would be enough to protect our Mars crew.
3. We need water to grow plants for food. We will supplement food taken from Earth for a 6 to 9 month trip to Mars by growing 3 plants: broccoli, beans, and potatoes. These 3 plants contain high amounts of protein in addition to other nutrients.
4. Obtaining water from the moon also helps us solve our fuel problem. Rockets use a lot of fuel. Most of the fuel for a trip to Mars
And back.
would be used just to escape Earth's orbit. We learned that the amount of fuel needed to escape an orbit is actually based on the velocity of our rocket.
The amount of velocity a rocket needs to escape orbit is based on the mass of the rocket. Spaceships with bigger fuel tanks hold more fuel, but of course a spaceship with a bigger tank is heavier and requires use of more fuel. This paradox is called the rocket problem.
So, we plan to solve the rocket problem by staging the needed fuel from 2 places, both Earth and the moon. We'll separate moon water into hydrogen and oxygen through a process called electrolysis. Then, the hydrogen can be used as fuel to get to Mars.
And back.
And you know what? This oxygen also produced from this electrolysis can be used both for human breathing and burning hydrogen for fuel.
In all, we have estimated we would need about 1 billion liters of water for all these things to help a crew of astronauts get to Mars.
And back.
So we've told you we will get water from the moon. Believe it or not, there's a lot of water on the moon.
We currently believe there's the most water at the poles of the moon.
Of course, on the moon, all of this water is ice. We propose to obtain this water through a process called thermal desorption.
Basically, we heat up the lunar surface within a dome to evaporate the water right at the moon's surface and then collect it.
So one great thing about our solution is that we can use the water we get from the moon to solve 4 different problems.
We're the Ziggy Stardust Disaster Busters, and we're going to get humans to Mars
And back.
using water from the moon.